If you feel empty even when things look good on the outside, this video is for you. I'm going to share the framework that finally explained why I had everything I thought I wanted and still felt nothing, and how it changed every loss I've ever taken. Last time, I told you how I rebuilt my body, and I thought that was the answer. It wasn't. A strong body with a weak mind is still a man who feels empty. I had the work, I had the friends, the women, I had the money to do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted. From the outside, it looked like a life. But underneath all of it, nothing was really moving. I'd been chasing the same things for years, and every time I finally caught them, I felt further from myself than before. I had everything a man's supposed to want, and no idea who that man even was. For a long time, I thought something was wrong with me. Then I looked up, and I realized it wasn't just me, it was everywhere. For the last 10, 15 years, the world has sold men one idea over and over, that you are worth exactly what you own. The car, the watch, the number in your bank account. No money, no respect. We took everything it meant to be a man and we turned it into a shopping list. But the real damage was never about the things we own. It's what chasing them did to how we treat each other. Watch how people meet now. A man with money buys his way in. A beautiful woman trades on her face and her body. And nobody actually wants to know who the other person really is. We stopped trying to know each other. We started trying to price each other. And somehow, we decided that's normal. A man becomes his bank account. A woman becomes her looks. And the real person underneath just disappears. Nobody ever asks what he's been through or what she actually wants her life to mean. Two people can spend a night together and walk away like strangers. Not one honest question, not one. Some men will tell you that's the dream. The money, the women, no feelings, no attachment. They call it freedom. I call it the loneliest way a man can live. We taught a whole generation of men how to be impressive, and we forgot to teach them how to be real men. So I stopped asking the question every other man was asking. Not how do I get more, not how do I win. I started asking a different one. What actually makes a man's life mean something? And the best answer I ever found came from Viktor Frankl. He survived the Nazi camps. He lost almost everyone he loved inside them. And he walked out with one idea. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. He said a man finds that why in three places. His work, what he builds and leaves behind. His love, the people he'd protect with everything he has. And his suffering, what he chooses to carry and what he decides it means. Work, love, suffering. That's the difference between a man who's truly alive and a man who's alive but not living. Frankl said the first place a man finds his why is in his work. And mine was never really about the title or the money. For 20 years I led people in some of the most demanding venues in the world. And what I loved was never the leading itself. What I loved was helping a man become stronger than he thought he could be. The second place a man finds his why is love. And we've forgotten what that word really means. Love isn't soft. For most of history, a man's love was the most dangerous thing about him. He'd put his body between the people he loved and anything that came after them. A man is supposed to love something so much, he'd lay his life down for it. I felt that for my mother, who is my whole world, for my family, for my faith, and every day for the people who worked for me. I was the first one to fight for them, even against my own company if needed. And most of the time, I got them what they deserved. But look at us now. We stripped away the family, the faith, everything worth fighting for, and then we wonder why men feel so lost. A man with nothing to die for has nothing to live for. And the third place a man finds his why is the hardest. It's suffering. Frankl watched men die in those camps, and he noticed something. It wasn't the weakest body that gave out first. It was the man who lost his reason to keep going. The ones who lost their why died first. Their mind gave up and their body just followed. And I know something about losing everything, twice. The first time, years ago. I lost it all, my business, my marriage, and everything I'd put my life into. In a matter of months, it nearly finished me. I thought I was what I'd lost. The second time was a few months ago. The relationship gone. 2 weeks later, the job. And just like that, back to nothing. The same loss all over again. But this time was different. The first time it almost took me with it. The second time it couldn't. Meaning isn't what happens to you. It's what you decide it means. The losses didn't change. I did. Same storm, but a completely different man standing in it. So that's what saved my mind. A framework, a reason. 3 places to stand when everything else gets taken away. But even the strongest mind in the world still hits a ceiling. Because there are questions a framework can't answer. Why am I here? What happens when it's all over? Why, when I finally had the meaning, the strength, the mind, was there still something in me reaching for something more? My mind took me right to the edge of something bigger than itself. That's where this goes next. And it's part of my story I was the most afraid to tell. The world buried me, but it turns out God never did. I'll see you in the next one. Reclaim the man.